20-year-old receptionist Adriana Arias is suing former friend, 22-year-old chef Nicholas Arrieta, for stealing money from her bank account.
Order. All rise. Now, this is case number 189 on the calendar in the matter of Arias versus Arrieta. Parties have been sworn in, Judge. You may be seated. You okay? Mm-hmm. Okay. Have seats, please.
Miss Arias, for some reason only known to you and those nearest and dearest to you and some being up there, you were dumb enough to give the defendant your ATM card and your PIN number. He is neither related to you by blood or marriage, correct?
Correct.
And it is your claim that without your permission, because you gave it to him for one thing, because he needed gas for his car and he didn't have any money, and without your knowledge and permission, he emptied out your bank account and just kept using your card, and you want your money back.
Yes.
Mr. Arrieta says that he did in fact take money out of your ATM, using your ATM card, and he took money out of your bank account, and he took it out to pay for a variety of things, and he did it with your permission, because you gave him the card and said, whatever you need, just don't shake your head, please, whatever you need, here's my card, and you can take it out. That's your position. Is that right, Mr. Arrieta?
Yes, it is.
And how much money did you, in fact, take out of her ATM?
I believe it was around $750 and up, could have been.
700. Did you understand what he said after $750?
And up it could have been.
And up it could have been. Up it could have been. Is that some sort of language that I'm not aware of?
Could have been more.
It could have been more. That I do understand.
Okay.
How much money did he withdraw from your bank account?
A total of $1,103. 104, I'm sorry. With
$1,104.
Yes.
Well, Mr. Arrieta, he's not exactly sure. He said it could have been $750 and up from there.
Yeah. Well, he pulled out a bunch of receipts. He should know.
First, I'd like you to tell me how you know him.
We've been friends for about 6 years now. We went to high school together since freshman year. We've never had problems, always got along just fine. There's times where we don't see each other, times we do run into each other.
I don't need a whole story.
Yeah.
That's how you've been friends.
Yeah, we've been friends.
Do you work?
Yes, I do.
What kind of work do you do?
I'm a receptionist at a hospital.
How long have you been employed as a receptionist at a hospital?
For about 10 months now.
And you have a responsible job?
Yeah.
You go to work every day?
Sure.
And you take your paycheck and you pay your bills?
Yes.
Put your money in your account? You went to the bank and opened up a checking account? Is that right?
Yes.
And they gave you a secret PIN number? And they were very careful when they gave you a secret PIN number. You know, they made you go like this.
Yeah.
You know, so that the lady who was, or man who was giving you the PIN number, they couldn't see what you were doing?
Yeah.
Now tell me why you were dumb enough to give Mr. Arrieta your ATM card and your PIN number?
Basically,
Not basically. Tell me exactly.
The reason why.
Yes.
The reason why is because he had called saying that, you know, he and my sister here had a previous relationship where she had a kid out of the relationship and a paternity test was never done. Now, he won a settlement. He was in an accident a while ago. He won a settlement and he called on the 19th saying, I have the money now. I want to pay for this, you know, the blood test to get done, the paternity test. So when he called, he didn't have the money. He had to go pick it up at his lawyer's office. And when he called me, it's because he needed the money to put gas in his car to get there, which was out of town.
So he came over to your house?
No, I was at work. But he came to my house because he had previously tried to borrow my sister's credit card.
And did you tell him when you want him to return the car?
I told him to return it that same evening when I got out of work, which he agreed because he was going to come by.
All right, Mr. Arrieta, now I'd like to hear your version of the events, sir.
Well, I've known the defendant
I want you to.
I've known the defendant for several years, as she explained. I did have relations with her sister. It wasn't
I'm not interested about her sister and your relations with her sister.
The day that I asked for the card, I went to her sister. Her sister gave me a card which didn't work. It was declined. And then so...
What did you go to her sister's house for? To get a card for what?
To get a card for... I told her I needed some money, that I didn't have no money for the weekend. So she said, well, I'll give you some money. Because my thinking was because she thinks...
I don't care what you were thinking, sir.
Well, I asked her for some money.
I don't think that you think.
I asked her for some money, and she was willing to give me some money. Her card declined. That's when I called her and I told her.
Called who?
Called Priscilla.
Put your hand down. When did you call her?
I called her. I never had to call her. Priscilla had told me to go straight to her work, that her sister was willing to give me the card.
When you got there, did you see Adriana?
Yes, I did.
And tell me exactly what happened when you saw Adriana.
When I saw her, she smiled at me, gave me a hug. Hey, how you been? I miss you. It's been a long time. Spoke for a little bit about things, and then...
No, tell me what you spoke about.
We spoke about her nephew, which she claims to be my son.
No, what did you say and what did you say?
I said hello. She said hello back. And that was basically...
I want you to think hard.
For the card?
No, think hard. Think hard. You said hi, she said hi, gave you a big hug, and then she said what?
She didn't say nothing. I asked her how her job was going.
And she said?
She said it was going great. She works at the eye doctor.
And then you said?
I came over here to get the card that your sister told me to get because hers declined. She gave me her card and her PIN number.
Mm-hmm. And then where did you go?
Immediately after that, I went to go get repairs for my truck. Went to get a cell phone.
What, are you an idiot? Are you stupid?
No.
What?
No.
Do you come from a long line of idiots?
No, I didn't.
What?
No.
What kind of work do you do?
Me? I don't work.
Me.
I'm a chef.
Me.
Me?
I know what I do for a living. I know what he does for a living. I want to know what you do for a living. I don't want to know what this idiot does for a living because he can't keep a straight face. I want to know what you do for a living.
I'm a part-time chef.
So that means you work in a restaurant?
I work voluntarily sometimes here and there for
You work
weddings.
voluntarily, so who takes care of you?
I'm sorry?
What word don't you understand, Mr. Arias, that I just said?
Can you repeat the question?
Who takes care of you?
I live with my parents.
How old are you?
22.
What does your father do?
He's a machinist.
And your mother?
She doesn't work. She's a housewife.
And you have brothers and sisters?
Yes, I do.
How old are they?
My brother's 26. My sister's 23.
Is your brother living at home?
No, he's not.
What does it mean? Are you thinking of the answers?
Yeah, because sometimes he tries to...
Try not to think of the answers. Try just to tell the truth.
Yes, he does.
Good. He lives out of the house.
Yes.
And your sister?
She also lives out of the house.
Lives out of the house. She's 23.
Correct. 23.
All right. And is she married?
No.
Is she working?
Yes.
What kind of work does she do?
She works as a receptionist for a doctor.
And how long has she been living out of the house?
6 years.
And your other brother? How long has he been living out of the house?
4 years.
So the only one that can't get their act together is you.
Yes.
Judge Judy continues in a moment.
Why you would want to tie yourself to this idiot for forever by forcing him to have a paternity test, I will never know whether he is the father, whether he's not the father. The guy's a jerk.
And later today,
Where's the phone?
We don't have it anymore. She said that we were not going to get the phone back, that she got to the phone before we did, and that he's dead.
real cases, real people. Judge Judy. Adriana Arias says former friend Nicholas Arrieta used her ATM card to steal from her account. Nicholas says he had permission to take the money.
Now, you take from your parents. You consider that their responsibility to support you. Is that right?
No, that's not the way I feel.
Well, then why do you continue to take from them?
I don't take from them.
Of course you do.
No.
Do you pay for the electricity in the house?
If I have money, I will pay for it.
How do you have money if you don't work? Is not an answer.
Part-time.
Part-time work.
When I do part-time chef, when I do cooking, sometimes
when
for
was
weddings.
When was the last time you did part-time
2 weeks
work?
ago.
For whom?
For a friend.
Friend's name, telephone number.
George.
George what? And what kind of cooking did you do for George? What is his phone number?
Should I give you the whole food meal, the course of what I cooked?
What kind of work did you do for him? At a
I
restaurant?
cooked. No, I
Where?
cooked. At his home.
Oh, you went to his house?
Yep.
Why you would want him declared the father of a goldfish, I haven't a clue. I haven't a clue.
My son's 4 now, so it was a long time ago.
Yeah, but why you would want to tie yourself to this idiot for forever by forcing him to have a paternity test, I will never know whether he is the father, whether he's not the father. As far as I'm concerned, you made a mistake. Write it off. Write it off. The guy's a jerk. However, he's a jerk that owes your sister $1,104. Judgment of the plaintiff, that's all.
Parties are excused. You may step out.
I called him and you know, I'll call you back, I'll call you back. Never called back, so I kind of figured something was up.
It was a gift, so why should I pay her back?
He's basically worthless. He has nothing going for himself, and he brought this upon himself.
I screamed for him to get off my son's leg, and he just looked at me.
When I did hear him, I did stop. That's why I didn't run over the child.
And now the next case.
All parties in the matter of Shrek versus Hagar. Step forward, please.
26-year-old employment specialist Catherine Schreck is suing her former lover, railroad conductor Brian Hager, for an unpaid loan to get back on his feet.
Miss Schreck, the defendant used to be your boyfriend. According to you, you made a loan to him in the amount of $1,000. Mr. Hager says that you did, in fact, give him $1,000. It was just that, a gift, not a loan. When was this $1,000 check, and it was a check, is that right?
Yes, Your Honor.
Given to Mr. Hager?
The check was written on January 22nd, 2002, and it was cashed on January 24th, 2002.
Tell me the circumstances of the check, Ms. Schreck.
He
That's
was
right.
unemployed at the time.
Tell me of the circumstances of the check.
The check.
Ms. Schreck.
Mr. Hager was unemployed at the time, and he was also experiencing other financial hardships. And
how long had you been dating him at the time?
Approximately 3 weeks. He had disclosed that his ex-girlfriend was possibly pregnant and that he was the father. At that point, I had determined that I did not want to further the relationship beyond a friendship. However, I felt bad for him at the situation that he was in at the time. He had expressed that he was waiting for his tax return to come in.
Just a second. So if his ex-girlfriend thought she was pregnant, what did that have to do with money?
He didn't need money for that. It was just added stress in his life.
Who cares?
I cared. He was my friend at the time. I felt bad.
What were you doing?
I'm a facilitator for San Bernardino Jobs and Employment Services Department. I teach welfare recipients how to get jobs.
Good. Oh, you should have taught him. What kind of work were you doing at the railroad, sir?
I'm a conductor.
And you were let go?
No, ma'am. I was just laid off temporarily due to a slowdown.
For how long?
6 months.
And what did you do during that 6-month period?
Things are hard everywhere, so I just I collected railroad unemployment.
How much?
It's $1,000 a month.
And where were you living?
I own a home.
And you have a mortgage?
Yes, ma'am.
What was the mortgage?
Mortgage was $1,700.
So you were really short. Where'd you get the other money from? Did you have savings?
Yes, ma'am. I had money saved up in my bank account.
Now, you tell her that you're having some financial difficulties, and so what did you do?
So I offered to give him a loan.
What did you say to him? What did he say to you?
I said, my father just gave me $1,000 for Christmas. I just received my student financial aid. I don't need it at the time, but I will need it in several months. He said that he was expecting his tax return, and as soon as he got that, he would pay me back.
Okay,
so
where were you?
span of 2 months.
Where were you when you had this conversation with him?
At his home.
Remember what date it was? Was it the 22nd of January?
Yes, it was.
That's not true, Your Honor. When she had given me the check...
Tell me about why you would tell this lady that you are having any financial trouble anyway.
Well, she could just tell that I was stressed. We were upstairs in my room, we were just talking, watching TV, and she just, she said, "What's the matter?" I said, "Well, I'm stressed out right now because, I'm having some financial problems with being laid off." She said, "Well, I got plenty of money. Why don't you just let me help you out?" And I said, No, it'll be okay. I'm going to be going back to work." We talked about it for a little bit longer, and once again I said, "No, it'll be all right." And I went downstairs, got a drink of water. I was coming back upstairs. She met me halfway. She said, "I'm going to go home. I have to go to work in the morning." I left you a surprise upstairs in your room. And I went back upstairs to my room, and there was a check for $1,000.
So what'd you do?
I called her cell phone and said, "Why'd you leave me this money?" She said, "Because I care about you, and I want to see you be okay." She said, "Just consider it a gift."
I don't know if she said that. Listen to me. Shh. Are you her mother? You didn't hear the story that he just told? That's more real than what she told me. So you can laugh all you like. That's pretty much what happened, except just consider it a gift. That she didn't say. Don't go overboard, Mr. Hager. When you're ahead of the game, don't stretch the truth. The truth was pretty good for a while. Probably was a gift. I don't believe that you asked her for a loan, that there was a repayment schedule. I don't believe any of that. You have to understand that, Ms. Schreck. But now I have a question for you, because I was interested. When I wanted to hear what you had to say, Mr. Hager, I believe you, that that's how it came about.
Yes, ma'am.
Because that's what she would do. And she said, I cared about him being stressed. That's what girls do when they're in like. But then she was no longer in like with you, and you were no longer in like with her, and then we got the $1,000 that you've already spent, right?
Yes, ma'am.
But you look like a sort of responsible young man. How old are you?
29.
And you own your own home?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, so it didn't work out with her. So wouldn't a responsible man of 29 years old, a homeowner, you own your own car, I'm sure you have a bank account, you told me you lived off savings,
Yes, ma'am.
right? But then you went back to work. Why didn't you start giving her back this money?
She had told me it was a gift.
Mr. Hager, she's not your mother, is she?
No, ma'am.
She's not a sister. She's not even your best friend, right?
Yes, ma'am.
So then what a moral person does is say, you helped me out, I needed it, we're not together, I want to start paying you back this $1,000, right?
Yes, ma'am.
Isn't that what a moral person does?
Yes, ma'am.
So you do want to be a moral person, don't you, Mr. Hager?
Yes, Your Honor.
Good. Judgment for the plaintiff in the amount of $1,000, that's all.
Parties are excused. You may step out.
She did meet another guy, and that's when it ended our relationship. And that's when she wanted $1,000 back.
That man did not come into my life until months after Brian and I had stopped speaking.
She told me it was a gift. You know, I feel I shouldn't have to pay the money back.
Lesson learned, never loan money to losers.
पे काम कर सको और मैंने करना है। हम आएंगे सोशल डेट पे। यहाँ पर हम क्या करेंगे, यहाँ पे हम सर्च करेंगे टॉप 250 प्राइम यूनाइटेड स्टेटस चैनल। यहाँ पर आप लोगों को यूट्यूबर कैटेगरीज मिल जाती है, फिल्म, शो, साइंस एंड टेक्नोलॉजी। साइंस एंड टेक्नोलॉजी पर मैंने काम करना है। मैं सर्च करूंगा क्या क्या चैनल है, ठीक है, सब्सक्राइबर रहे, क्या वीडियो ये लोग काम कर रहे हैं। अगर मेरा इंटरेस्ट इस चीज के बारे में, मैं इन लोग को देख के काम स्टार्ट करूंगा, मीन रिसर्च करूंगा, सिमिलर चैनल ओपन करूंगा। वो कैसे ओपन करें मैं आपको, तो सबसे पहले मैं अगर काम कर रहा हूँ इंग्लिश कंटेंट में, मैं 250 यूनाइटेड स्टेटस चैनल को ओपन करूंगा। यूनाइटेड स्टेटस के चैनल को ओपन कर लिया, ठीक है। ये तकरीबन एक चैनल है कोको मिलन, ये इसके सब्सक्राइबर देखो, व्यूज देखो, वीडियो व्यूज देखो। यहाँ पर आप लोग जैसे किड्स के कंटेंट पर ज्यादा व्यूज आ रहे हैं, ठीक है। इसमें यह है कि हमें नीचे आना है, नीचे आना है, नीचे आना है। हमने इसमें कुछ चैनल ओपन किए, मिलियंस ऑफ सब्सक्राइबर है, हम देख लेते हैं 14 मिलियन, 10 मिलियन है, 21 मिलियन है। फोक्स न्यूज है, टॉम है, मतलब ये सब टॉपिक्स पे चैनल बने हैं ना। ऐसा नहीं कि रैंडम किसी ने चैनल बनाए, किसी भी टॉपिक पे किसी ने चैनल बनाया होगा। यहाँ पर हमारे पास एक और ऑप्शन भी है, हम कंट्री यहाँ से भी सेलेक्ट कर सकते हैं। एक और चीज मैं आप लोगों के साथ शेयर करता हूँ। यहाँ पे अगर मैं बात करूँ तो इंग्लिश लैंग्वेज कंट्रीज, यहाँ पर ये सारी कंट्री में इंग्लिश बोली जाती है। तो यहाँ पे आप कोई सा भी कंट्री, जमाइका, मैं यहाँ पे सर्च कर लेता हूँ जमाइका, जमाइका सर्च कर लिया, ठीक है। अब जमाइका में मेरे पास देखो, अब यूनाइटेड स्टेट्स में मेरे पास क्या रिजल्ट आ रहा था, और यहाँ पे मुझे सबसे जो टॉप पे जमाइका में चले 1,25,000 सब्सक्राइबर है। मीन उसके निस्बत कंपटीशन जो है लो है, एंड जो है इंग्लिश कंटेंट है। तो आपको पता है इंग्लिश कंटेंट पे आपको अर्निंग ज्यादा होगी। चलो इसको रहने दो, मैं आपको कुछ और बताता हूँ। अब एक चैनल मैंने सर्च करना है। सबसे पहले मैं क्या करूंगा कि चैट जीपीटी से आके कुछ पूछता हूँ, ठीक है। सजेस्ट मी 10 बेस्ट इंग्लिश कंटेंट टॉपिक, चैट जीपीटी से इधर पूछ लेता हूँ मैं। चलिए लो जी, इसने मुझे 10 टॉपिक दे दिया। अब 10 टॉपिक को मैं सर्च करूंगा, या अगर मुझे पसंद नहीं तो मैं इसको बोलूंगा गिव मी मोर टॉपिक, प्रोवाइड मी 10 niches इंग्लिश टॉपिक। मैं चाहता हूँ ये मुझे कुछ और दे दे जो मैं चाह रहा हूँ, जो मेरे माइंड में है। या अब देखो ना, डाई हो गया, डाई क्राफ्ट हो गया, क्लोथिंग हैक्स हो गया, ये जो चीजें है ना, ये बड़ी लेवल की है। मेन मैं कहता हूँ कि इस पे आपका चैनल मिलियन क्रॉस कर सकता है, ठीक है। अब मैं आता हूँ, मैंने एक चीज यहाँ पे देखी जो कि मुझे पसंद है। देखो लाजमी सी बात है, जितनी चीजें आपको देगी उसमें से आपका इंटरेस्ट जिस पे होगा तो उसी पे आप काम करोगे। इधर आके हम इसको पकड़ के यूट्यूब पे डालते हैं, यूट्यूब पे डाल के देखेंगे ये चीज, ये चीज। अब हम क्या करेंगे, यहाँ पे आके दिस वीक करेंगे, और ये 4 डेज में इसने 2300 व्यूज लिए हैं, ठीक है। हम क्या करेंगे, ये टाइटल को हम ना थोड़ा सा डाई क्लोथिंग है, रिजल्ट मुझे अब सही मिलेगा। अब हमने क्या कर रहा है, अब हमने क्या करना है कि यहाँ पे मैं सेलेक्ट कर लेता